A lot of people moving to Tucson ask me about natural disasters in the area. Many people are coming from places that have wildfires or earthquakes or tornadoes, and they want to know what they're getting into when they move to Tucson. One of the great things about Tucson is that we really don't have a lot of natural disasters except for one particular time of year, and that is the monsoon season. Today, we will talk about how to stay safe during monsoon storms, as well as all of the amazing things that Tucson's yearly monsoons provide us. Hey everyone, it's Kimberly, your go-to real estate agent here in Tucson, Arizona, and today we are talking about Arizona's famous monsoons. But first, of course, consider liking and subscribing to follow along with Tucson news and learn more about things to do and see and know about this city, my hometown. And when you're ready to buy or sell a Tucson home, you know how to find me. All my contact information is in the description below each video on the channel. We have over 100 videos out about Tucson and real estate on the channel, including a video about natural disasters in Tucson. So make sure you check that one out after this one. And of course, if you're a local Tucsonan and you have a great monsoon story, throw it down in the comments because we Tucsonans have to teach others how to survive those months. So here's your quick science lesson. During the summer, moist air from the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of California is drawn into Mexico and the Southwest United States due to heating landscape of the Sonoran Desert in the summer months. When we get hot in the summer, the air rises and creates a vacuum which draws in the cooler air from the south and west of us. Since this air is being pulled in from above ocean water, it is full of moisture. The unstable atmosphere with rising air and moisture come together to create some of nature's most beautiful and sometimes scary and dangerous storms. Our monsoon storms come with high winds and huge gusts that come out of nowhere. Microbursts are the most dangerous wind-causing events in these storms, where huge columns of air and rain burst from the thundercloud in the area of 2.5 miles in diameter or less. These violent downdrafts then spread in all directions. This creates violent wind and rain surges that can cause a lot of damage. There have been very scary instances when microbursts have occurred that cause very serious injury or even death, so just be aware of the sky and surroundings during monsoon season. You never know when a microburst is going to occur. Another facet of our monsoons to be aware of is that when it rains, it can rain in a torrent. There are times when we have gotten several inches of rain in a short amount of time, and this can be very dangerous as well. Our large washes become full of raging muddy water, and some roads even get washed out. This is when we really need to pay attention to those signs that tell us not to enter washes when water is flowing. Sometimes they are deeper than they look, and trust me, you don't want to be that person on the news getting rescued from getting stuck in a raging wash. Also, please be careful when hiking during monsoon season. It's not unusual for hikers to get trapped at places like Sabino Canyon during bad floods and need to get rescued. Super scary. Pay attention to the flash flood warnings that we sometimes get daily on our phones. The Tucson Valley is big, and often we will see huge rainstorms off in the distance, and it doesn't seem like they're very close, but the weather can change quickly. So always watch the sky and be as careful as possible when leaving your home during the monsoon season. If the rain starts falling so hard that you can't see while you're driving in a monsoon, I recommend you get off the road as soon as you can. Pull into a parking lot if you can, or simply get off the road in a safe area. Do not stop in the middle of the road because this can endanger other drivers as well. It's always a good idea to make sure your windshield wipers are in good working order before the storms start. Also, sometimes these storms produce hail that can cause a lot of damage. Cars can get dented up if they're outside, and roofs of homes may get damaged. Several years ago, my neighborhood fell victim to a really intense hailstorm, and in the following months, many of the neighbors had to replace their roofs. One of the most beautiful parts of our monsoon season is the amazing display of lightning that comes with the charged skies. Photographers love an approaching monsoon for the last chance to capture that perfect shot. Like I've said before, please be careful, as people can and do get struck by lightning, especially if you are in an unsheltered, compromising position while trying to get that perfect photo. One great tip is to make sure that you get under some sort of cover or inside if you hear thunder. You definitely don't want to be swimming or exposed in the open air if there is lightning. Even if you aren't in the middle of the storm, lightning can strike up to 15 miles away from the center of the storm, and most of the lightning of a storm happens 3 miles away from the center. I don't know about you, but it's kind of hard looking at the sky and telling exactly how many miles the center of the storm is. So I say, just be careful. You may consider avoid taking a shower while an intense monsoon is raging. Water is a conductor of electricity, and we have even known people that have gotten shocked while taking a shower during a storm, so it does happen. That doesn't sound pleasant to me. It's also good practice to turn off your important electrical appliances during a storm. You don't want your computer to get fried and lose all of those important documents and family photos. Last but definitely not least, be aware of pet care in Tucson during monsoon storms. Some dogs literally freak out during the high winds and loud thunder. A lot of pet owners I know won't even leave their dogs alone if we're expecting a storm later in the day because the dogs will destroy the house. Talk to your veterinarian about the best methods to help your dog cope with this time of year. I know this all sounds scary, but staying safe takes common sense and a little bit of preparation. On average, Tucsonans know how to deal with these storms and the dangers are mitigated. Just because monsoons can be dangerous doesn't mean they can't be one of the most beautiful natural events that anyone can experience. Tucson gets a very familiar scent after the monsoon rains that people come to love. The rains bring out the earthy scent of the creosote bush that grows everywhere in Tucson. Everyone here loves to talk about the musky smell of the creosotes after the rains here. The monsoons cool down the desert for a much needed break from the heat that can get super brutal in the mid and late summer months. We have noticed the temperatures lowering up to 20 degrees at our home during a summer storm. It does get pretty humid though, at least for Tucson. There is some really cool wildlife that comes out during the wet season in Tucson. This is one of the best times to spot a Gila monster in the wild. You will see our beautiful desert snakes as well, including rattlers. During the years of heavy rainfall, the desert begins to glow with vibrant green. Our mountains that usually look brown with patches of faded yellow or brown turn bright green and at times look somewhat tropical. It's just one of the most beautiful times of the year in Tucson for sure. Also, let's not forget that the monsoons bring in the clouds, and these clouds can help make some of those ridiculously famous Tucson sunsets. Hawaii has nothing on Tucson when it comes to the sunsets we get here. The sunsets here can be truly miraculous, and I actually feel the same way about sunrises. At the end of the rainy season begins one of the most coveted natural desert food times of the year. The end of the monsoons signal that it is prickly pear harvesting time. Tucson is famous for its prickly pear edibles. Prickly pear is a Sonoran desert classic fruit that can be eaten raw or prepared numerous ways. People make sweet syrup from the fruit for jams, beer, candy, and even a Tucson mimosa when substituted for orange juice. Once you get used to living in Tucson during monsoon season, you will learn to love this time of year. There is just something about these storms that gets your energy going and makes you feel alive. Monsoons are also very symbolic of rejuvenation as you see the desert transform every year. I hope you've learned a little bit about what to expect during monsoon season here in Tucson in this video. It's really an amazing time of year. You just need to be careful when you're out in a storm. Make sure you plan ahead during those storms. If at all possible, try not to be stuck in a storm. If you're interested in buying or selling a Tucson home, give me a call. I'd love to help you out. All my contact information is in the description below each video on the channel, and there are over 100 other videos on the channel about things to do and see and know about this city, my hometown. Comment below with any safety tips or cool monsoon stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out the door. I appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next Tucson video.